Welcome. I'm Mark Moore, currently the director at the Lunenburg Public Library. 16 days and counting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. People always say, are you going to France? Are you going to England? No, I'm going to my college. With a good book. But Jerry Bryan is here. He was just telling me we booked him in 2017. And so we're real happy he remembered to come. But he is from Massachusetts. He's half Finnish or more than half Finnish.
One half.
I'm half Finnish, and he thinks Irish? Or he just loves... He heard...
That's why I'm here tonight. It's the Irish.
Yeah, he loves the Celtic music, and it kind of speaks to his soul and has for a number of years. So we're very, very happy that he's here to share his gifts and his knowledge with us tonight. So enjoy this, and our thanks to the
Thank you, Martha. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Yes, I am half Finnish, and I'm not doing any Finnish music tonight because we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Any Irish in the audience? Ah, good. I was hoping that'd be the case. We can sing some of the old songs then. That's what I'm going to do tonight, is share with you an arc of traditional and a few more modern Irish songs. Just to give you a sense of what impact the Irish have had. Great poets, great singers, what impact they've had on the world of traditional song and music. So hopefully you'll hear some that you know. If you do, sing along. I need all the help I can get. And if you don't, feel free to ask questions about it too. This is a really well-known one. In a neat little town they call Belfast, apprentice at trade I was born. Many an hour sweet happiness I spent in that neat little town, till a sad misfortune come over me, which caused me to stray from the land, far away from my friends and my family, betrayed by the black velvet band. And her eyes they shone like diamonds, you think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Now as I went out walking one evening, not intending to go very far, I met with a frolicsome damsel, selling her trade in a bar. A watch she stole from a customer, then she placed it right into my hand. From the very first day that I met her, that sister black velvet band, and her eyes they shone like diamonds, you think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. So before judge and jury next morning, our trial had to appear. Judge, he said, my young fellow, the case against you is quite clear, and in 7 long years is your sentence. You're going to Van Diemen's Land, far away from your friends and relations, to follow that black velvet band. And her eyes they shone like diamonds, you think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. liquor, my boys. Stick clear of them pretty collies, for they'll fill you with a whiskey and porter till you are not able to stand. And the very next thing that you know, my lads, you're landed in Van Diemen's land. And her eyes they shone like diamonds. You think she was queen of the land. And her hair over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Yes, her eyes shone like the diamonds. You think she was queen of the land. And her hair over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. You heard that one, Tom? There's a theme in a lot of the songs I'm doing tonight about immigration. Because a lot of the Irish left Ireland, mainly because of the famine, but also for other reasons. That song there, Black Velvet Band, is about an involuntary immigration. Botany Bay, Van Diemen's Land were the penal colonies in Australia that England sent a lot of Irish people to back in the day. Figuring, well, you do something bad here, we don't want you around, we'll send you down there, leave you to rot. That's why there's so many Irish names in Australia today. And I recently learned, I love reading up on history, the reason that the English used Australia was they lost their former penal colony, which was the colony of Georgia, here in North America. That's where they used to send their criminals. I don't know if that has any bearing on things today. I don't know. Yeah, they lost Georgia, so they had to send them to Australia. Now, the Irish came to the United States from the very beginning, but in the 1830s, 40s, 50s, particularly a huge wave because of the potato famine. Potatoes were the staple crop of many of the poor people in Ireland, and when a potato blight hit and destroyed the crops, they were desperate, starving. So a lot of them came here, and they were discriminated against. So this song gives you a look into the discrimination that they faced. They would often try to find work, and then the advertisement would say, oh, we need this, but no Irish need apply. And so somebody, back in the day, probably 1840s or 50s, wrote this song with a little bit of revenge in it. Well, I'm a decent boy just landed from the town of Ballyfad. I want a situation and I want it very bad. I've seen employment advertised, it's just the thing, says I. But the dirty spell been ended with no Irish need apply. Oh, says I, but that's an insult, and to get the place I'll try. So I went to see this blackguard with there's no Irish need apply. Some do count it a misfortune to be christened Pat or Dan, but to me it is an honour to be born an Irishman. Well, I set out to find a house, I got it very soon. There I found the old chap seated, he was reading the Tribune. Tell him what I come for, and he arranged decline. Oh, he says, you are a paddy and no Irish need apply. Then I gets the dander rising, and I like to black his eye for telling an Irish gentleman no Irish need apply. Some do count it a misfortune to be christened Pat or Dan, but to me it is an honour to be born an Irishman. I couldn't stand it longer, so a hold to him I took, and I gave him such a welting as he'd get to Donnybrook. He hollered, will you murder, and to get away to try, and he swore he'd never write again, no Irish need apply. He made a big apology, I bid him then goodbye, saying when next you need a beating just right, no Irish need apply. Some do count it a misfortune to be christened Pat or Dan, but to me it is an honour to be born an Irishman. Some do count it a misfortune to be christened Pat or Dan, but to me it is an honour Now, you can just imagine that were that a true story, that poor chap probably would have ended up in prison for the rest of his life. He didn't get that verse of the story, so who knows. Another challenge that the Irish faced as they emigrated to this country, particularly in the 1860s, was there was a war going on. And the politicians at the time in the North said, well, you know, we need more soldiers. Hey, look at all these able-bodied young men coming off them boats from Belfast and Dublin. Maybe we can do something with them. So this song, this is another traditional song about an Irishman coming to this country and what he faced during the Civil War. It's called By the Hush. And it's by the hush, me boys, sure that's to hold your noise. Listen to poor Paddy's narration, for I was by hunger pressed and by poverty distressed, and I took a thought to leave the Irish nation. So here's to you boys, please take my advice. To America I'd have yous not be common, for there's nothing here but war, and the murdering cannons roar, and I wish I was at home in dear old Ireland. Well, I sold me horse and plough, and me little pig and cow, and me little farm of land, and I were parted, and my sweetheart Biddy McGee, who I never more shall see. Well, I left her on that morning broken-hearted. And here's to you boys, please take my advice. To America I'd have yous not be common, for there's nothing here but war, and the murdering cannons roar, and I wish I was at home in dear old Ireland. Well, myself and 100 more to America sailed o'er, our fortunes to be making we was thinking, but when we landed in Yankee land, they shoved a gun into our hands, saying, Paddy, you must go and fight for Lincoln. So here's to you boys, please take my advice. To America I'd have yous not be common, for there's nothing here but war, and the murdering cannons roar, and I wish I was at home in dear old Ireland. Now it's General Marr that said, if you get shot or lose your head, every mother's son of you will have a pension. Well, in the war I lost me leg, all I've got's this wooden peg, and it's sure that it's the truth to you I'll mention. So here's to you boys, please take my advice. To America I'd have yous not be common, for there's nothing here but war, and the murdering cannons roar, and I wish I was at home in dear old Ireland. Now I think myself in luck to be fed on Injun buck, and in Ireland the country I delight in, but where the devil I do say, oh curse America, for I'm sure I've had enough of her hard fighting. And here's to you boys, please take my advice. To America I'd have yous not be common, for there's nothing here but war, and the murdering cannons roar, and I wish I was at home in dear old Ireland. Not exactly a travel poster for coming here, but there were those that did make it. They didn't get shot. They didn't get arrested. They found jobs. And one of the common jobs was working on the railroad.
So the potato famine happened to correspond with the boom of railroad building in the United States in the 1840s and 30s. And so a lot of these rail lines that we pass by today and we travel on today were originally built by Irish laborers. All the way out to Nevada, where the Union Pacific and the, what was the other railroad? The Northwestern, Central Pacific and the Union Pacific, something. I should know this. But the side coming from the east was largely Irish workers that built the railroads across the country. And as you can imagine, people like the Irish who love to sing, they wrote a bunch of songs about it. This is one that I learned, I think I was in elementary school music class. And chances are a lot of you may have picked this up at the same time. For some reason it was in all those elementary and middle school songsters back then. I think of it as sort of Irish blues. Every morning about 7 o'clock, there's 20 terriers working at the rock, and the boss comes along, says keep still and come down heavy on a cast iron grill. Drill, you terriers, drill, and drill, you terriers, drill. Oh, it's work all day for the sugar in your tea, down beyond the railway, and drill, you terriers, drill, and blast and fire. Now our new foreman's named Dan McGann. I'll tell you, by God, he's a blaming man. 1 week a premature blast went off, and a mile in the air went Big Jim Goff, and drill, you terriers, drill. Drill, you terriers, drill. Oh, it's work all day for the sugar in your tea, down beyond the railway, and drill, you terriers, drill, and blast and fire. Well, the next time payday comes around, Jim Goff is $1 short, he found. When he asked the reason, comes this reply: your docked for the time you was up in the sky, and drill, your terriers, drill. Drill, your terriers, drill. Oh, it's work all day for the sugar in your tea, down beyond the railway, and drill, your terriers, drill, and blast and fire. Now our boss, he's a fine man down to the ground. Married a woman 6 foot round. She bakes good bread and she bakes it well, but she bakes it as hard as the hinges of hell. And drill, your terriers, drill. Drill, your terriers, drill. Oh, it's a work all day for the sugar in your tea, down beyond the railway, and drill, your terriers, drill, and blast and fire, and blast and fire. How many remember that from way back? I don't know why that was the one they chose. There's a lot of different songs, but it's been around for a long time. I think in a knowledge economy like we have today, that the idea of docking your pay has sort of gone away. So many people are, earn salaries that getting money taken back because you're floating around in space having blown sky out. If I had a younger audience, I'd probably have to really explain that. Now, my friend Fred, who knows me as a sea shanty singer, that's been my long love in traditional music. But the Irish, from everything scholars say, the Irish had a lot to do with the development of singing sea shanties, which were work songs on board ships. And so this is an Irish sea shanty, which is all about working on the railroad. So it tells you a little bit about the fact that he might be a sailor one season, and then the next season he's driving spikes on the railroad. Who knows? But this one's called, it's got a great chorus, Philly Orie. Very Irish sound, so please feel free to join in. In 1841, I put me corduroy breeches on, I put me corduroy breeches on to work upon the railway. Filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, to work upon the railway. In 1842, I left the old world for the new. That's just the luck that saw me through to work upon the railway. Filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, to work upon the railway. In 1843, 'twas then I met sweet Biddy McGee, and an elegant wife she's been to me while working on the railway. Filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, while working on the railway. In 1844 we worked, and then we worked some more. 'Twas bend your backs, a busted roar, while working on the railway. Filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, while working on the railway. In 1845, I didn't know if I was dead or alive. They worked us just like bees in the hive while working on the railway. Filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, while working on the railway. In 1846, they pelted us with stones and sticks. Lord, I was in a terrible fix, working on the railway. Filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, while working on the railway. In 1847, sweet Biddy McGee, she went to heaven. She left one child, she left 11 to work upon the railway. Filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, filling me ori-ori-ay, to work upon the railway. We could, you guys could chip out, I think. I brought a bunch of different instruments because I've learned that I can make up in variety what I lack in talent. So this is my baritone uke, and one of my favorite Irish immigration songs. It's just, it's got great sentiments, a great melody, and pretty popular. You may have heard this before. It's called Shamrock Shore. Oh, from Derry Cay we sailed away on the 23rd of May. Oh, we were taken on board by a pleasant crew, bound for America. Fresh water then we did take on 5,000 gallons. In case we run short, going to New York, far away from the Shamrock Shore. And fare thee well, sweet Liza dear, and likewise unto Derry town. And twice farewell to my comrades brave that dwell on that sainted ground. If fame or fortune should favor me, and I'd have money in store, I'll come back and I'll wed the wee lassie I left on Penny's green Shamrock Shore. At 12 o'clock we came in sight of famous Mannhead, and in a stroll far to the right stood out from the ocean's bed a grander sight ne'er met my eye that e'er I saw before. As the sun going down twixt sea and scape, far away from the Shamrock Shore. Well, we sailed 3 weeks, we were all seasick, not a man on board was free. We were all
Sometimes it's all about the melody. I just love the melody of that. Kind of like ocean waves. There was another attraction that the United States had to offer the Irish, and it actually got started in 1849. Anybody want to guess what happened in the year 1849? little thing called gold out in California. So that was a big spur to immigration, and this song was written by one of those gentlemen who decided he'd had enough of digging praties. Praties that's the Irish slang for potato. We call them spuds. They call them praties. I mean, who knows why? But he figured, he's standing there with his potato fork and he's thinking, I could do a lot better than this if I just went to California. So he bids farewell to his hometown, which is called Durkin, and off he goes. In the days I was at Horton, I was never tired resorting to the alehouse or the playhouse, or many a house beside. I told my brother Seamus I'd go up and go right famous, and before I returned again, I roamed the whole world wide. So goodbye, your sweet Durkin, and I'm sick and tired of working. No more I'll dig these praties, no longer I'll be fooled. As sure as my name is Carney, I'll go up to California, where instead of digging praties, I'll be digging lumps of gold. Well, I courted girls in Blarney, in Kentucky and Killarney, in Passage and in Queenstown, that is the Cove of Cork. So goodbye to all of this pleasure, I'm going to seek my leisure, and the next that you will hear from me is a letter from New York. So goodbye, your Durkin, I'm sick and tired of working, no more I'll dig these praties, no longer I'll be fooled. As sure as the name is Carney, I'll go up to California, where instead of digging praties, I'll be digging lumps of gold. Now it's goodbye to all of my friends at home who could sail far across the foam, but go and seek a fortune far America, where there's gold and money aplenty for the poor and for the gentry. And if ever I return again, I never more will stray. So goodbye, your Durkin, I'm sick and tired of working, no more I'll dig these praties, no longer I'll be fooled. As sure as my name is Carney, I'll go up to California, and instead of digging praties, I'll be digging lumps of gold. Sounds so easy, doesn't it? So easy. It would be fascinating to have a time machine, like go find that guy, and then what song did he write when he got to California? Spent a couple of months there. So I'm mainly a singer of Irish tunes, but I figured I had to do like one little instrumental. So I'll give this a try. This is called Off to California. So even the instrumental music of the Irish, and most Irish instrumental, or what we think of as Celtic music, was dance music. And the different rhythms are all related to different kinds of dancing. And this one happens to be a hornpipe rhythm. We think of hornpipes as a sailor dance, but they're actually a social dance as well. And any of you have any young relatives that do Irish step dancing, the hornpipe is something you'll see them do. But this one probably dates back to the 1840s, 1850s.
It's become a traditional Irish instrument. You see, most of the time when you see an Irish musician, a Celtic musician, playing the concertina, it's this style. There is another style that sounds the same, but it's played very differently. And the reason the Irish adopted this kind because it was a lot cheaper back in the day. I think it's a lot easier to play it myself. But. Well, I'd like to invite my own sweet Colleen to come up and sing a song with me now, darling.
All right.
This is Fran Goodwin, my partner.
I'm trying to decide if I need the words. This man is amazing. The words he remembers it's astonishing. I sing one song with him and
We'll go ahead and get it.
you want to have one? I think I am. It's like a little security blanket.
See, I've talked her into this, so. The reason we wanted to share this song with you is because it's an example of the very old style of Irish singing. Now, those of us that love Celtic music today, they got guitars, and they got banjos, and they got all sorts of stuff. But way back, the Irish tradition of music was one melody, no harmony. So you'd hear old-time recordings of an Irish session, and everybody's just playing the melody. The flute, the whistle, the fiddle, the concertina, they're just playing the melody. There's not any harmonies in there. And it was the same with the singing. So we're going to do an old song, probably from the... maybe
1830s.
Yeah, probably 1830s, 40s, something like that, about a young sailor who meets a woman in the county of Cavan. And we're going to sing it in the old style. When first I came to the county Cavan, it was to view the wildflowers gay. There I espied a damsel, so fair and handsome, I took her for the fair Queen of May. I boldly asked her if she'd marry, and care to be a young sailor's wife. Oh no, kind sir, I'd rather tarry, I'd rather lead a free single life. You smiling creature, the pride of nature, how do you differ from all female kind? And you, a damsel, so fair and handsome, to be wed with you, I'd be much inclined. Ah, now, young man, the truth I'll tell you, I am in love these 5 years and more, with one O'Reilly from the county Cavan, who oft has wounded my heart sore. I wish I had you in Phoenix Island, 3,000 miles from my native home, or in a valley where none could find us. You might incline there to be my own. You're like a swan swimming on the ocean. You're making motion with both your wings. Your snow-white breast, love, would be a potion for any lord or an Irish king. And you are tall, and you are handsome, and you are a fitting for to be a queen. I wish I had been in battle wounded before your beautiful face I'd seen. Now it's youth and folly make young men marry, and here no longer can I stay. What can't be cured, love, must be endured, love, You'd think she had some Irish blood in her. She has even less than me.
German through.
German through and through. So young men who came to the United States and other places had to leave sweethearts behind. And, you know, these were men in their late teens, 20s. So sometimes they were feeling the pain of separation, and then by the time they arrived, maybe things they'd forgotten a little bit. Who knows? We wonder if the fellow that stars in this song might have been starting to forget. We don't know. This is a little tune, a little song called Loch Air. The Irish started leaving Ireland a long time ago. One of the big waves, the early waves, was when William of Orange, King Billy, as he was known, defeated James the Sixth, I think, or the Seventh, and took over Scotland and Ireland as well as England. William was Protestant, James was Catholic, and that was not the beginning, but that was one big event in what led to the Troubles, as they were known, that extended right up almost to this day. But after that conquering by England, a lot of Irish patriots left. Rather than serve what they considered as slaves to the English king, they hired out as mercenaries to other European armies. And so this song, the melody of this tune goes back to the 1500s perhaps, maybe even earlier. It's been around a long, long time. These words, not so sure when they appear, but they bring that sentiment about the pride of Irish and independence and not serving, not being under what they considered a foreign king. Oh, the dames of France are fond and free, and Flemish lips are willing, and soft the maids of Italy, and Spanish eyes are thrilling. Yet though I bask beneath their smiles, their charms fail to bind me, and me heart falls back to Erin's Isle, to the girl I left behind me. She says, my own dear love, come home. My friends are rich and many, or else abroad with you I'll roam, a soldier stout as any. But if you'll not come nor let me go, I will think you have resigned me. My heart nigh broke when I answered no to the girl I left behind me. For never shall my true love brave a life of war and toiling, and never as a skulking slave must tread my native soil on. But were it free or to be freed, the battle's close would find me to Ireland bound, nor message need from the girl I left behind me. A modern take on the Troubles is this one. It's a reworking of an old rebel song called "The Wearin' of the Green," and this has the Irish, I think, are known for their black humor. they've had a lot of opportunities to feel black about things, and but their humor is typically a little bit mordant, you might say. And this one's a great example. This is a 20th century song that kind of takes a look at the Protestant-Catholic divide at the time, and tells it through a bit of a funny lens. It's called "The Orange and the Green," with the orange, of course, being the Protestants, the green, the Catholics. Well, my father was an Ulsterman, proud Protestant was he. My mother was a Catholic girl from County Cork, came she. Married into churches, they lived happily enough, until the day that I was born and things got rather tough. Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green. Baptized by Father Riley, I was whisked away by car, and made a little orange man, meanwhile a shining star. I was christened David Anthony, but still in spite of that, to my father I was William, while my mother called me Pat. Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green. Now with mother every Sunday to mass I'm proud to soul. Then after that the Orange Lodge would try to save my soul. Both sides tried to claim me, but I was smart because I played the flute or played the harp, depending where I was. Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green. One day, my mom's relations came round to visit me, just as my father's kinfolk were all sitting down to tea. We tried to smooth things over, but they all began to fight, and me being strictly neutral, I bashed everyone in sight. Oh, it is the biggest such a fool. They both passed on the rest of them, but left me caught between the awful color problem of the orange and the green. Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father is orange, and the mother she is green. Yes, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father he was orange, and the mother she was green. You know, if you can't laugh about it, you're going to cry. Ah, there's the pig. Who here owned or has owned or has streamed Clancy Brothers?
I've seen them.
Yeah.
Oh, you never forget them.
Fantastic. Well, I never got to see all of them. I had a chance to perform with Tommy Mangum years ago. And this is a song of his. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is a song that the Clancy Brothers recorded, which is just, it makes no sense. When you listen to the song, I like a song that tells a story. It's got to have like a whole story. This has no story. It doesn't really make any sense. And until I researched it and found out it was a children's song, this goes back to the 1800s. Children had a game that they would play while they sang this song. Then it made sense that it made no sense, if you take my meaning, because that's how kids are. But it's a great little song to sing. If you know the chorus, join in. If it has a title, it's called "I'll Tell Me Ma." I'll tell me ma when I get home, the boys will leave the girls alone. He stole my hair and stole my comb, but that's alright till I get home. She's handsome, she's pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She's Gordon, 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the other boys are fighting for her. They knock on the door and they ring at the bell, saying, oh my true love, are you well? Out she comes with white as snow, rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. Oh, Jenny Murray says she'll die if she can't have the fella with the roving eye. I'll tell me ma when I get home, the boys will leave the girls alone. They pulled my hair and they stole my comb, but that's alright till I get home. She's handsome, she's pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She's Gordon, 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she? Let the rain and the wind and the hail go high, let the snow come tumbling from the sky. She's as nice as apple pie, she'll get her own lad by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell a mom when she gets home. Let 'em all come as they will, for it's Albert Mooney she loves still. I'll tell me ma when I get home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Stole my hair and they stole my comb, but that's alright till I get home. She's handsome, she's pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She's Gordon, 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she? Kids have a lot more energy than old people. It's a very energetic song. Now, I have to confess, I think every song I've sung so far was probably written by an Irish person. But now I have to do one that was not. But he should be an honorary Irish person, because he just nails this song. This song was written in the mid-1990s by an American folk musician named Mark Hammond. He lives in upstate New York. One of my favorite pieces of comic songwriting that there is. And it's about the troubles in Ireland, but this is not the political troubles. My name is Dan Jetson, I follow the plough. I've a 5-acre farm with a pig and a cow. I'm a devil for work when the sun's shining bright, and a happy wee man by me fire at night. I can butter me praties, put milk in me tea, and a rasher and egg are no stranger to me. Just show me a roast of your beef or your pork, and shake hands with a Rembrandt of knife and of fork. One night, by the heart, I was reading the Times about politics and other horrible crimes. I spied a bold headline, it gave me a start, saying eggs, meat and butter will tear down the heart. They'll clog up your plumbing and puff up your bag, turn fine lad and lass into has-been and hag, blow up your blood pressure clear up to the sky. Oh, Jesus and Mary, 'tis mortal, says I. Well, a tear filled me eye as the fear filled my mind for the fate of my friends of the four-footed kind. For a pig is but rashers and pork to the ground, and a cow made of butter and beef by the pound. But Jesus, says I, it'll be poison for sure, for the article mentioned no physic nor cure. My sorrow was great, there was naught I could do, and salvation appeared on page 72, and my hope was renewed when I read at a glance of the wonders achieved through aerobical dance. Aerobics, it said, would return you to trim through the fierce locomotion of torso and limb. The fat will leap off you like fleas off a cur, and your blood will run sweet as a drop of the pure. Yo, what's that line? Your blood will run sweet as a drop of the pure. Your lungs will be bigger, but so something in might in your lungs and your liver, and fair play to your lights. So sign up today, work out at the club, just past the post office right next to the pub. So early next morning, before the cock crowed, it was Bossy, meself, and the sow down the road. We passed the post office, turned in at the door, there saw a sight that we'd never seen before. They were leaping about as if under a spell, and the music roared out like the hammers of hell. In the tightest of tights and the brightest of hues, St. Vitus in charge of the whole bloody crew. Well, we purchased admission and stood in the back, and soon with the rest we were balling the jack and the flash. The fat that we burned as we tortured our flesh would have ended starvation in Bangladesh. We labored the winter, spring, summer, and fall at the aerobics, the knotless, the jogging, and all. Bacteria and virus away from us fled, for we ate every vitamin alpha to Z. Now the sow, she's a marvel, so neat and so trim, so full to the brim of such vigor and vim. She's a match for Jane Fonda, so slim and so sleek, and I hear Donald Trump propose marriage last week. And Bossy's become such a dainty cowleen, she gives naught but skim milk and the best margarine. Her fame is spreading from village to town, she's the first of her race to say down, dairy down. And as for myself, well, it's easy to see that no man on the planet can stand up to me. At aerobics and nautilus, I have no peer. There's only one thing in this world that I fear. Your man Schwarzenegger, he's no match for me. And your monkey King Kong can go climb up a tree. But by the sum of them both, to the power of 10, hope I never see Bossy in spandex again.
Good.
The words were there this morning. All right, 2 more songs to go, and we'll let you go home.
No.
Will you play the bones? Will you play the bones?
I brought the bones along, and I might just do that.
Okay.
What key do I do this? In the early teens of the 20th century, 1912 to be exact, there was a flowering of interest in nostalgia for the old country in this world. So, 60 or so years after the first Irish had really arrived, Tin Pan Alley songwriters in New York City realized the Irish now had succeeded and they had enough money to buy sheet music and pay to go to music halls and see theater productions and things like that. So they started cranking out all these nostalgic, schmaltzy songs. This is one that we still sing today on St. Patrick's Day. But I'm going to do the verses as well as the chorus. Please join me on the chorus. Bring that up a bit. There's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why, for it never should be there at all. With such power in your smile, sure as stone you'd beguile, so there's never a teardrop should fall. With your sweet little laughter like some fairy song, and your eyes twinkling bright as can be, you should laugh all the while and at other times smile. So now smile, smile dear for me. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure 'tis like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. And when Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'll steal your heart away. For your smile is a part of the love in your heart, and it makes even sunshine more bright. Like the linnet's sweet song, crooning all the day long, comes your laughter so tender and light. For the springtime of life is the sweetest of all. There is never real care or regret. So while springtime is ours, through all of youth's hours, let us smile every chance that we get. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure 'tis like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. And when Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'll steal your heart away. One of the things I love about songs like that is that's over 100 years old, and we are still singing that with gusto today. It's fantastic. I have a feeling 200 years from now, that'll still be the case. Oh, shouldn't have put the guitar down. So, two more to finish up. This is the song that Tommy Makem wrote. And from what I heard from him is that this was the song the Clancy brothers always ended their concerts with. So those of you that have seen them, you can either debunk that or confirm it. Now, Tommy Makem was a great whistle player, banjo player. He did not play the fiddle. And yet this song is about a fiddle player. So I think he was channeling the old-time itinerant musicians back in Ireland. He calls us the Rambles of Spring. There's a fierce and wintry breeze blowing through the bud trees, and I buttoned up my coat to keep me warm. The season's on the mend, and I'm on the road again, with my fiddle snuggled close beneath my arm. I've a fine felt hat, a strong pair of brogues, I've got rosin in me pocket for me hold. My fiddle strings are new, I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. I'm as happy as a king when I get a breath of spring, and the grass is turning green as winter ends. The geese are on the wing, and the thrush is start to sing, and I'm off along the road to see my friends. I've a fine felt hat, a strong pair of clothes, I got rosin in me pocket for me home. My fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. I have friends in every town as I ramble up and down, playing music in the markets and the fairs, to the donkeys in the creels and the farmers making meals, and the yellow-headed tinker selling wares. I've a fine felt hat, a strong pair of clothes, I've got rosin in me pocket for me bowl. My fiddle strings are new, I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. Here's a health to one and all, to the great and to the small, to rich and poor alike, and foe and friend. And when next we meet again, may our foes have turned to friends, and may peace and joy be with ya until then. I've a fine felt hat, a strong pair of clothes, I've got rosin in me pocket for me home. My fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. Yes, I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. So that's the hour. And I thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. You never have got too long, right?
Yeah.
All right. I usually just stick them in my pocket just in case. So the booms, just as a historical introduction, this is the most unintuitive instrument you've ever encountered. How human beings figured out to do this, and it was the African slaves in the United States that did figure this out. They brought this instrument here. The Irish picked them up from minstrel shows, the black minstrel shows. But you take these two pieces of wood, you hold them a certain way, and you make all sorts of funny sounds with them. I can promise you, from years of teaching the bones, it'll take you a month to be able to make that sound, a month of solid practice. So it didn't just come to somebody. Somebody didn't pick it up and do it. So it's an amazing musical achievement of humankind. But I'm going to play it to accompany this total nonsense song that I learned from a Clancy Brothers album way, way back. I have no idea what it's about. It's crazy. Got a female heroine, which is interesting in itself, and she sounds really unique. And she comes from the town of Valley Bay. In the town of Valley Bay, oh, there was a lassie dwelling. I knew her very well, and the story's worth the telling. Her father had a still, he was a good distiller, but when she took to drinking wine, the devil couldn't fill her with me a ring-a-ding-a-dong, a ring-a-ding-a-daddy-o, a ring-a-ding-a-dong, to me work for the radio. She had a wooden leg, it was hollow in the middle. She used to put a string on it and play it like a fiddle. She fiddled in the hall, she fiddled in the alleyway. She didn't give a damn, she'd have the fiddle anyway. A ring-a-ding-a-dong, a ring-a-ding-a-daddy-o, a ring-a-ding-a-dong, to me rock for the radio. Well, she said she couldn't dance unless she had her welly on, but when she had it on, she could dance as well as anyone. She wouldn't go to bed unless she had her shimmy on, but when she had it on, she would go as quick as anyone. A ring-a-ding-a-dong, a ring-a-ding-a-daddy-o, a ring-a-ding-a-dong, to me rock for the radio. She had a lovers by the score, every Tom and Dick and Harry. She was courted night and day, and yet still she wouldn't marry. But then she fell in love with a fellow with a stammer, and when he tried to run away, she hit him with a hammer. A ring-a-ding-a-daddy-o, a ring-a-ding-a-dong, to me rock for the radio. Now there's children on the stairs, and there's children in the fire, and another 10 or 12 sitting gloating by the fire. She feeds them on potatoes, and the soup she makes from nettles, and lumps of hairy bacon that she boils up in the kettle. With me ring-a-ding-a-dong, a ring-a-ding-a-daddy-o, a ring-a-ding-a-dong, Tommy went for the radio. Well, she fed him every day on porridge and blood pudding. She terrorized her man until he died right sudden. And when the old man died, she was feeling very sorry. She rolled him in a rug, she threw him in the quarry. Ring-a-ding-a-ding-a-dong, a ring-a-ding-a-daddy-o, a ring-a-ding-a-dong, Tommy went for the